Hi, brother Jerry. I'm responding to this video on about Christian Goody two shoes, and well, I congratulate you on another great video, another great message once again. And yeah, that's a very good point you put across there, and absolutely brilliant. Good on you, and God bless. I want to point out to your viewers, and I doubt some of your critics will be watching this kind of video. Interesting if they are, and I hope they do, because they may learn a few things. But just to point out to them, a Christian can judge the works of another Christian if the works aren't in line with Scripture. If a Christian is publicly saying something and, of course, privately living another lifestyle, then they do need to be corrected. I think there is a place and a time for public correction. Of course, I think it depends on the sin or on where the errors lie in that Christian's life. Because Matthew 18 verse 15 goes on to talk about what you should do if a brother sins against you. Obviously, if someone's committed a sin in private, or if they're living a lifestyle which is improper, then your attitude should be, you go and point this out to them, and you support them in the process to help them overcome this, without bringing additional scrutiny from the outside world into the family of God. But there also comes a time that people are very public in their beliefs and very public in their errors, that you've actually got to come sometimes publicly and confront them. There is a time and a place for this, of course, but it does need to be done. And sometimes you've got to come on and publicly name the people who are doing these things. Because Paul sometimes named people who were in error against him, and that there comes a place and a time for everything. When you have a situation such as revival is needed, for example, who comes out, the guy James the preacher dresses up in the devil's suit and goes outside Mormon tabernacles and Mormon Jehovah's Witness conventions, screaming at people, welcome to my kingdom and stuff. Or if he starts talking to people and he happens to meet another Christian who doesn't know the Bible as well as he does, or they practice things slightly different from them, he automatically verbally assaults them and tells them they're stupid, they're ignorant, and they're fools. And then the overall way it goes about that is quite disrespectful. And sometimes you've got to stand up and say, excuse me, what you're saying and what you're doing is wrong. But that's judging, that's measuring up what they're doing, their works, by the Bible. And to be able to say, this is unacceptable. This isn't giving sort of spoken in love. This isn't doing anything to save the soul of the person you think is lost. In fact, it's just making it worse. And obviously, I'm involved in outreach to the cults and stuff, and that style of preaching that just builds up the barriers, because the people in the cults, they're just programmed to expect Christians to attack them and tell them they're wrong and tell them their church is wrong and that it's of the devil. And all you're doing in that case is just feeding into it. And yet when you start actually speaking to the individual in love, you might be very hard on the religion that they follow, but the individual, the person, you respect, and you respect their dignity, and you respect the fact that they're inwardly inside, they're ultimately the Jehovah's Witness you meet, the Mormon you meet, the Christadelphian you meet, in their heart they're exactly the same as you and us. We're all looking to be accepted by God and to be forgiven and to be worthy of his thanks and praise and grace. We're all looking for that. But for the grace of God go I. And people often forget that. They don't just the same way as you, brother Jerry, spoken out about against homosexuals and stuff. You know, stuff God. You're the messenger. You're gonna suffer for it now. They attack you, and you attack you as a person, and they judge you as a person, and that's exactly what happens with all these other people. They really go at the individuals, and the cults do it with us. The people in the cults, they bypass them if they can't sway you on the truth, or what they perceive to be the truth, or they want to take you away into their truth from the scriptures. They'll start on you as the individual. Even today, there's websites out there supported by major denominations, like I say denominations, organisations like the Latter-day Saints and the Watchtower, slagging off the person of Dr. Walter Martin, really degrading him and digging into him. He's been dead for nearly 10 years now, probably more than that actually. But he did so much damage by presenting spiritual and scriptural truth that they've got to take out the messenger. And Jerry, you're in the same situation. These people come along, they're just attacking you as a person, and you're quite right to stand up to them and quite right to point out where their errors are. But you showed the ultimate respect and say, hey, look, ultimately at the end of the day, I love you in the Lord. I think that's what these people, these goody two-shoes Christians, sometimes forget, is that when they start having to go at someone who's of another Christian denomination, maybe of another church or whatever, but still professing to be Christian, there's a high probability that they are actually born again, which means there is going to be some Christians in heaven who are spending eternity with people their only encounter with has been very negative, and it's going to leave them thinking that I was rude to this person. We only met once on Life on Earth, and I was rude to them because they didn't quite use the same terms as we used. They didn't preach and speak out the same Bible as I read out of. They didn't belong to my denomination, so I condemned them. And here I am, sat next to them at a table, the marriage feast of the Lamb. And and we do forget that as Christians, that we can come on here, we can just snipe away and slag people off who are of different denominations, and yet we're going to spend an eternity with them, whether you might believe that or not. But it's very true. It's very true. But you don't. If a brother needs correcting, then you correct the works. You just always love the person. And I want to say, Jerry, God bless you. If I feel you need, I need something clarified. If I feel I need a word, something you've said clarified or put into the right perspective, believe me, brother Jerry, I shall be extremely respectful to you in the process, and I pray that you will be with me also. God bless you, my friend, and keep up the good work. Yeah.